Welcome to Everything Life and Real Estate. Let's get started with our hosts, Linda McKissick and Dana Gentry.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Everything Life and Real Estate. I'm Linda McKissick.
And I'm Dana Gentry.
Hey, Dana, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm excited about our guest today. You've just bragged on him forever, so it's nice to have him on.
Yeah, don't tell him about any of the times I curse him or anything. Because we argue over our choices. But no, I love John. And so I'm super excited that our audience gets to meet John, because they probably have heard me talk about him on the podcast even. So
Definitely.
John Holstead has been in my life. How many years have we been working together?
11 or 12.
11 or 12. So fun.
Wow.
So let's kick us off, John. You were born, and then what happened?
Well, I was born on a lonely, cold, dark night. No, I'm just kidding. No, I am a graduate of the University of North Texas, and I'm a licensed interior designer, which in the state of Texas, you have to be registered with the Architectural Examiners Board in order to call yourself an interior designer. And really what that does is that separates the true professional designer who has the education with someone who just may have good taste. You know, so it's, and also too, I'm what they call an ASID interior designer, which stands for the American Society of Interior Designers. That means that it's a governing board that establishes credentials for designers. And it's like, for us, it's like having CPA, you know.
John,
so yeah.
John, my mom is an ASID interior designer also.
Is she really?
Yeah, so
oh,
I'm familiar with that.
Well, that's great. It's always nice to have one of those in the family.
Yeah. Yes, I always say if I get sick of this real estate stuff, I want to do interior design.
Well, John, let me ask you a question, because one of the things I always brag to everybody about, you and I've worked with, together 11 or 12 years, ever since we moved into this house. You've redone it twice now. Just the latest time was after the Texas flood that we had. But I always brag about how that architectural things also, and that's made such a difference. Is that what your accreditation does, or was that just something?
Well, at the college that I went to, it had to be an accredited to be able to apply for your ASID status. You had to go to an accredited college that was within that system. The design program had to be as such. Now, I was automatically an architectural minor. So I also come from a background of builders in my family. And then just really the interest of it, the love of it, the architecture, from everything from, dating back to, Roman times to now, and how that all, works together. I really kind of think that interior designers and realtors have a lot of similarity, because we both have to pay attention to our client, to what their needs are. It's taught me how to listen. Okay, I think if I am really doing my job, I am challenging my clients to expand and grow, because sometimes we only know what we know. Okay, and so I'm going to use an example. I'm going to use two examples, and Linda, it's with you.
Oh, great.
Okay, we were picking out paint colors, and you weren't real thrilled, and so we went ahead and she said, okay, if you like it. So we painted the house. And then Linda goes, I love it. I love the color. It's it's great. But see, that's in my world. I knew what that outcome was going to be.
Yeah.
And the same thing in the master shower. I don't like it. It doesn't look special. Well, Jim, if you like it, go ahead. Go ahead. She loves it. Then we have some bugs to work out, but that's, with any project. So, we're really closer than you think in our approach to our clients.
Yeah, and there were things that I think you get so stuck in your house that you don't realize things about it that need to be changed or updated because you're just kind of used to it. I didn't realize our house was so yellow until we made it white. And then it was like, oh, I get it. It was really, really yellow and it doesn't need to be yellow anymore, right? That's out.
Yeah.
So that, to me, that was, and then there were things that you did that you had an eye for. And I don't know if this is because you do it so much, but there was some of the things. We have never been happier with our house. Like, we really thought about selling it after the flood. And I just can't get over how much we love it. And I loved it already before, but it's just the little things that you thought of and did differently. Even though I pushed back, like I said, we never use the theater room. We're never going to use the theater room. I don't know why we're spending all this money in the theater room. And now I love the theater room. So I don't know if that comes from your just years of doing it. And then,
well, it does, and it also comes from all my years of working with certain contractors. I look at my job as a big clearinghouse. Okay, so in all the years that I've been doing this, I have found, I think, what is the best of the best upholsterers, the best countertop people, the best lighting people. And so I'll toot my horn here a little bit. So, I'm a little different than a lot of designers because I can do an entire lighting plan for a house, which I've done many times because I know what those fixtures are going to do in the house and what we need to light. We had the opportunity to do something really cool, Linda, in your den with your television.
And that's been the biggest. You took a room that was only half usable and you expanded it by that one idea that I would have never.
What'd you do? I haven't been there since he redid it. What'd you do to the den? What'd you do in there?
Well, first of all, the room is a really kind of long room. You remember that. And in the beginning, because we had to change, the fireplace was way over to the left. We moved that to the center of the first remodel that we did. Well, it still wasn't fantastic because everybody had to look to the left in that little bitty spot in front of Jimmy's chair to watch TV. So it cut off a lot of your seating. And we all, Dana, we always have, the whole Ohio Valley there for something, or,
right.
Every family member plus all their friends. So
plus
it's never
church.
Big enough
Yeah.
for anything we have. Yeah, plus the church, it's never big enough. So John had, I don't know, did you see this somewhere, John? Where you put the TV in the middle of the fireplace, and not only that, it has some kind of remote that makes it come out of so I can still have all my Christmas decorations and floral and all that stuff.
Well, the TV's up above the mantle, right? And so you push a button and it comes out and it lowers. Okay?
So you're not straining your neck like this. We would have never put it there because the fireplace is so high.
Well, and it is such a man thing. I'm going to pick on the fellas for a minute. They all want that TV up above a mantle, and if you will read your television instructions, your TV is really supposed to be at eye level. And sometimes different size screens, you're 10, 12 feet back. And so I get it. I think it's wonderful. And like I told Linda and Jim, it's great if you've got a big group of people and the ball game's on and everybody's up walking around. But if you want to, if it's just, a few people, grandkids, family, and you want to, watch a Christmas special, it's nice to lower it. The cool thing is this particular model has a heat sensor. So if something were to happen with the fireplace, it automatically raises itself. So, we had a really great team on their house that worked really, really well together. Because we did some, I wish we had pictures before and after of the front of your house.
The outside?
It's the outside.
Yeah, you know what I actually do, John? I've had a professional photographer take pictures of our house. I need to pull those out and we need to put them side by side. because the front of the house was something I never thought was changeable, and I hated it. And it looks like a newer model house. It doesn't look like it was built in probably whatever it was built in the 80s.
I didn't know you did anything to the exterior.
Yeah, new garage doors, everything. We took some.
Now, we had to wait on a couple of things to come in.
You and the rest of the world.
And some of that still continues. It's such a process, and I had the advantage of going into this project again because I knew Linda and Jim. And the bonus is I really like them. And the first time we worked together, I got some of Jimmy's special barbecue for Christmas. So good. That was fantastic.
If you get Betty's sweet potato muffins, you're really in at that point. Like you're gonna have to go for those next time.
Now I bet you I could work that because she and I are friends. We have our own little thing going on. So yeah, we do. But Linda, I did want to talk to you about there's something that I do with some local realtors here in Dallas, and I would encourage any of your realtors to have some type of an association with a professional designer. I've got some clients that I look at every house with them, with the realtor. Or then I do have some realtors that I work with that bring me in just for an hour consultation, kind of to walk through the house if people are on the fence a little bit, what the potential of the house could be. And I've got one realtor that she has lost several big deals because she has, she'll flippantly say, well, let's just knock this wall out. Well, she has no idea what it takes to knock that wall out. Well, can't you do this? Can't you do that? So it's almost like she's hard selling her client. Okay? So I come in and kind of take the heat off of her because all I do is I come in as the professional. So then she kind of, separates from the selling process because, it's the same thing in my business. You have to sell not only to people's wants, but you also have to sell to their needs, and again, that is listening. And that's one of the things that it's so personal when somebody invites me into their home, right? And I think it's the same way with what you guys do.
John, with the market that we've just come out of, a lot of buyers have bought houses that they just maybe was not the perfect house or they love, but they had to get it because you weren't getting anything. So it's a perfect opportunity, I think, as a realtor to have an added value service to say, hey, I know there were some changes you wanted to make. Part of my service, because, you can get John's expertise. You can pay him by the hour to come out and give the expertise, and then they can go from there or whatever, or they can decide to hire you or whatever. But I think it would be a great added value to say, hey, I know that maybe there's certain things about this house you went ahead and bought it because you needed a house, but you would like to change. As part of my service, I'm going to pay for 2 hours of John's time to come talk to you.
That's a great idea, Linda. And I tell you, a lot of people right now that have bought, to your point, Linda, are buying and possibly redoing a bathroom. I was at two clients this morning. One client is redoing a kitchen, gutting a master, and redoing 3 other bathrooms, as a facelift. And but what we're doing is we have all of our selections picked out, but we're not starting any construction until we have every one of those elements in place. in my hand, all the plumbing, all the tiles, because we're still at a situation with availability. And you know, also too, back to one point, it's all, Linda, when you said, you know, you may have bought the house and it may not have been what you want, but, you know, we may be able to do something to that house that they didn't even think of that's going to make it better. You know, a door, a window, master closet, you know, there are so many space saving specialists out right now that can, you know, take, you know, an 8 foot width worth of clothes and down to 4 feet. You know, so there's lots of ways that a house can become their home.
Mm-hmm. Well, and just the things that you maybe have done on a different house that you could see would work for ours that I would have never thought of. Like, I hated those pillars on the front of our house. I never knew that those could actually totally be gone away and we could do something else. Now we have iron on the front of our house. And you change out the light fixtures on the front of the house to match that iron. It looks, and you're not done. We're going to put pots and stuff like that in front of it. So, and the garage doors are like phenomenal. I mean, they just make it look like a house. It's a newer house, not something that was built in the 80s. And I would have never known those things without you pointing them out and showing me we could just do that.
Well, and the pediment above the second story that was heavily carved, heavily French, we took out completely and made it very smooth. What's going on as far as a trend right now in exterior and interior, a lot of people are buying these traditional homes and they're going in with elements of traditional, but they're also adding in very clean lines, very not ultra modern, but kind of more transitional furnishings. Because everybody wants that, but you know, you can't get rid of everything that you have, you know? So it's kind of, the fastest way to add warmth to an interior is with an antique, you know, or an older piece. Well, paired with a new piece of upholstery or a cleaner lined end table, kind of gives that traditional look a fresh approach. Well, and I always like to say that I'm unapologetically traditional with a modern edge.
That's me. I love that.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Yes, I love that. Okay, I thought, Linda, if we had a second, could I just like rapid fire a couple random things and see what
Yes.
Okay,
are
you into the white paint, I think I heard you say, or still going with more of like the grayish?
No. I've never been into gray. I stay away from trendy, and I think gray has become the new neutral. I don't think it's going to have a long shelf life. Right, so I think you'll be repainting sooner than not.
Yeah, totally agree. So are you going with white paint right now? Do you like white?
Going with a more neutral, but maybe with a wonderful, maybe a charcoal trim. I just did a project actually during COVID, and the exterior was very traditional gray stone, but the interior, the walls were white, the trim was white, the cabinets were white, and then we brought in color with art and with some glass sculpture that we actually lit.
Do you have a favorite white? I feel like that's the $1 million question.
Listen, I will tell you, whites are the hardest color in the world. Now, I am a big fan of Benjamin Moore paint, okay? It's a little bit more, maybe $5-10 a gallon, but it just goes on the wall. I don't know what the chemical compound is. Now here's a tip. You bring in a painter, right? And whoever the painter has the biggest discount with is the brand that they want you to use. That is how that goes.
Yeah.
Okay. there's a kind of a classic white dove
Yeah.
that's kind of a kind of a go-to, but there are whites that are tinted lavender, blue,
Yellow.
gray, yellow, peach. So you really have to be careful with whites to get a really true white. A lot of times I'll take in a piece of fabric or a formica chip and I'll have them color match it, And actually, I will tell you, Benjamin Moore has a wonderful machine that will read the color very well. Now, very important, all the paint stores are selling them. About 8 by 11 sheets that you can paint, then they peel off and they stick on the wall.
Yeah, I've seen those. Those are cool.
Yeah, I just did that with a client in Scottsdale a couple of weeks ago, and it works out great. Always test your paint.
What about, I'm in Charleston, so I have to ask you this, wallpaper, yay or nay?
Yay.
Me
A
too.
big
So
yay.
I just made
Okay,
a big goof and installed a whole Schumacher in my entire kitchen, tried to live with it for 3 months and hated it, and just had her come take it down and redo the one that I wanted to begin with and didn't get it, and now I love it. But wallpaper is back.
Well, and they're doing entire rooms of wallpaper. I love a dining room that is wallpapered. My favorite thing is to wallpaper a powder room. And even though it's small, you can do something really wonderful and punchy. Now, I love Charleston. I've been out there a lot, and I had a big project out on Kiowa Island, several years ago. And, it is so beautiful out there.
I'm trying to get Linda. She's coming soon because she's going to freak out.
Oh. Linda, just don't go when those little no-see-em bugs are passing through.
Yeah, no kidding.
Right?
So I have a question for you, John.
Sure.
Is the gold? I'm loving the gold, and we did gold handles in my kitchen.
Yes.
Is the gold faucets and all that stuff in? Are they going to stay, or are they just kind of?
I think gold faucets are here to stay.
Good.
I think they're here to stay.
Me too.
I love them.
And actually, black. A matte black is really strong. I don't think it's going to go away either. Now, classic stainless steel, is always a winner. I would say the thing that I wouldn't do is to do anything that's weathered, like an antique bronze. I think that so dates it. The plumbing people are, just coming out with the most incredible things. But you have to be patient with them. The technology is still a little new, but now it's wonderful, especially if you are a technology bug. Because you can retrofit just about anything from lighting to sound. Alexa, of course, started that. It's also happening in plumbing, digital showers. But, you just have to be aware of what's coming. And then plumbing is just crazy through the roof. Appliances are very difficult to get
Linda,
right now.
I don't think I've told you this, but Adam is like Mr. Tech, and so our faucet is Alexa. So like we can say it's touch, but then we can say, Alexa, fill up the Yeti cup, and she knows how much water to pour in the cup, and the faucet turns on and fills it up, and right before you think that it's going to overflow, it turns off and stops. It's the wildest thing.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's cool.
you're right, John. All that's like changing, crazy.
Well, but I will tell you, there's one thing that's great about it, is that you can, while you're away and with people who travel a lot, you can dial into your house, adjust your thermostat, look at your property with cameras that move from your phone. So I think there's a huge sense of security in that. But I also think it's kind of smart too. to have that kind of technology at your fingertips.
Yeah. Okay, I just had two more really fast ones. What floor stain, like what are light or dark or middle, or like what are you into with hardwood right now?
Well, that depends on the project and the client. So I'll give you another example. So I just did this remodel, okay, for these two high-powered realtors, right? And she said, well, what's wrong with what we have? I like that, because Linda is typical. She likes what she likes, and when she has it, she doesn't pretty much want to change it. So I said, well, let's see if there's some other options out there. So we actually did a lighter stain on her floor. And Linda?
No.
But we didn't go white.
No, we didn't
go like
that's not you. That's not your home. But I don't go anything bleached. A few people on really modern want to just seal it and leave the wood color. But I would say I err kind of middle of the road towards lighter. Dark brown, no. Reds, absolutely not. I think that's a kiss of death in an interior. But now, Linda had red oak floors, but I had enough experience with my hardwood provider that we knew how to mix the right stain to push that red out.
Love it.
And it worked.
Okay, last one, textures. Do you like maybe velvet with like another texture, or do you like everything to stay the same? Mixing, I mean.
Are we talking about
upholstery,
walls or fabric?
I'm sorry, upholstery.
Upholstery. No. I love texture and I love pattern. And I love texture in a velvet or in a solid or in a neutral. A very easy way for you to have, I'm doing it for a client right now. I did their apartment high rise about 3 years ago, and she's ready for a little change. So we're going to go in with some new pillows because the rest of her house is neutral enough. But when you go neutral, you have to lay on lots of pattern, lots of texture, and then it's a very inexpensive way. Pillows are, I think, to.
I don't know. I just ordered some more Schumacher pillows and Adam about how to stroke with the price on those. However, I think they'll turn out perfect. So.
Well, maybe we need to see a picture of them when they come in.
Yes, I'll have to. See, Linda, what I'm doing is asking these questions, and then I'm going to make Adam listen to this and be like, look, this is, I told you why we had to mix this stuff, why we had to re-wallpaper, why we need to sand and stain the floors right now, because John said so.
We use that one around the house all the time, depending on which one of us got our way. It's like John said, I mean, it's not me, it's John. A couple things I want to add real quick, and I want to brag on John a little bit because one of the funnest things, one thing I could have never done without John is the rugs. I suck at rugs. I can't stand doing them. It's not fun for me. And number two is it's so fun to do furniture with John because, the furniture, we got to places that only John knows about that I wouldn't normally go to. And I can even buy wholesale on things, but I couldn't get these kind of things. But I said to Jimmy, but a rug is expensive when 3 people have to come out and put it out. I'm like, I'm used to a rug that you just go get it out of the back of the truck, put it out. And 3 people brought my rugs, each one, by the way. And I'm like, that is, I don't even want to know what the price tag was on that rug, but it's beautiful. They're all beautiful, John. You did an amazing job. And the last thing I want to say about John is the way I found John is the greatest compliment he could have ever gotten. I went to the providers of the supplies. I was at the World Trade Mart in Dallas, and I said to a lady 11, 12 years ago when we first met, I said, who do you know that is the best? And I said designer. What is it actually called?
Interior designer. Yeah.
Interior designer. And she said, I'm going to tell you the best. His name is John
Oh,
Holstead. And I said, okay, how do I get a hold of him? And when I was at the rug place with you this last time, she said to me,
That's awesome.
you have the very best. He is the
oh,
best in the
how
business.
kind.
So those guys know
Yeah.
who's the best, and they're on the backside. And so if I was looking for someone like John in my area, or you want to fly John will fly anywhere. Then if not, then I would go to those suppliers and ask them.
That's a really good idea because they are going to have an association. You know, they're going to know who's going through. You know, I'm working with a client. I'm headed out to Florida next month to go work on a condo, and you know, Scottsdale, Colorado. One of my favorite places to get to work is in Carmel, California, and Napa. Yeah, so it takes me to some fun places.
That's amazing. Love it. Anything else, Linda, that you wanted to get from John?
Awesome.
This was amazing.
I'd say two things, John. Give us anybody out there, maybe they don't have a huge budget or whatever. What are the 2 or 3 things you'd have someone do if they want to just really freshen up their house? And then how do people reach out and find you and work with you? And
The first thing that I would do is, and I'm going to give you a really good kind of budget place that I go to sometimes, and that is At Home. The store At Home, and it is good for candles, containers, ceramic pieces, a little tabletop accessory, a box. So you can spruce up your house. Oh, and pillows. Don't forget pillows. They've got a great pillow department. Now, you have to edit. You have to edit and know what you're going out to get. Okay? So a super easy way is a fresh coat of paint. That is the quickest way to give some life to a room. Okay? Then also, as again I said, a pair of pillows. A live plant is a wonderful way to bring in some warmth. Maybe take a piece of furniture that you have and paint it. You know, give some new life into it. There's a wonderful brand of paint that's it's got the name Chalk in it, like a chalkboard, and it's great paint. And whether you want to do like a Tiffany blue or aqua or bright red or a Chinese red, that's a really great way to get an inexpensive punch.
John, I used that on a half bath vanity a couple years ago, and it turned out so great. It looked like it was new. You know what I mean? And we just chalk painted it.
Yeah. Wonderful. Yeah. There are people here in what we call antique malls, and that's all they do is they paint for people, and they're lined up.
Love it. So, John, how do people find you, follow you?
Well, they can email me directly, which is John, John, at jhid.net. I'm going to give you a phone number, 214-418-1271. Now, here's the thing that the last thing I want to tell you. I have never advertised in my entire career. It's all by referral.
That's amazing.
All by referral. Yeah, I've been very, very, very blessed in my career.
And you probably have a lot of repeat people also because you know them, they know you. Oh. It's just and you know, the thing I'm shocked about, John, that I don't think people realize is really your consulting fees not astronomical. And I really loved that because we were able to make some decisions and see how we could work together and then realize I love the way he works. I love his knowledge, and then go farther and deeper in a deeper relationship. But I think even a consult with someone like you is so powerful.
Linda, thank you for saying that. And you know, I like to call it a master plan. I always say if we're going to drive to New York City and we've never been, probably not going to get in the car and just start driving. You're going to get a map out. So it's expensive to make some of these purchases, and some of them are lifetime, especially wood pieces. So a lot of times I'll go in and space plan a room. We'll talk about what it is, the menu of the things, and they might say, you know what, right now we've got in our budget a sofa and a pair of chairs. And then maybe next tax season, we might do some blinds or some draperies, and so you have to layer on your design. And that's most people. I would rather see people slow down and buy good quality pieces than to get on the internet and have a room full of furniture delivered to their front door. That's one thing about millennials and up, is that they don't take they're not too much invested in what they have. So it's okay if they move and they just leave the furniture. They don't have that much into it, So, but all that's kind of cyclical, and that comes around.
And I love, John, once you kind of know my house too, you send me pictures of what I should do at the fall. Like you just sent me that really cool picture of all the pumpkins and boards and things in front of the house. And you're like, this would look great
in
your house.
See, I love that.
And we've already been like texting back and forth pictures of, hey, maybe we could eventually paint the house, and maybe would we do it this? And so we just kind of it's an ongoing project, and it keeps me excited and thinking, oh boy, and later there might be some other fun things you can do. But the coolest thing you did, John, we forgot to talk about, is you did your first ever podcast room at my house. Listen. Once we talked about that podcast room, I don't know if Linda paid attention to anything else. She was so excited about her podcast room, and she should. But we learned a lot. We all kind of banded together. And that's one thing that professionals do. If you're doing something new for the first time, well, then let's go out and let's research. And although it's a small space, we had to talk about lighting, sound. We had to wire it appropriately for what your needs are now with your mixer and your microphone, but also, too, going forward, we needed to make sure that we had enough power outlets. As technology changes, we can keep Linda's podcast room up to date.
Linda and John, Tyler and Kate just texted me a great idea. And Tyler said, it would be so fun to bring John back as part 2 and show him pictures of varieties of different rooms and get his reaction.
100%.
That would be so fun. Yeah, because he's pretty expressive. He's pretty expressive if he likes something or doesn't like something. It would be a blast, for sure.
Here's the deal. If I say to you, I think we can do better, then that's it. That's what you need to pay attention to, But you know what? It's really collaborative. It's a collaborative effort.
So I love it. Thank you, John. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. This has been great.
You,
I really enjoyed it.
Fun.
So remember, if you have not hit subscribe, go ahead and hit that subscribe button now. And remember, Dana's after us 500 5-star reviews. So help us out. Give us a great review. And if you know of anyone that would benefit from these kind of conversations, a realtor or another business person, be sure and pass this podcast along. And if you have an opportunity, a challenge, or a great guest that you'd love to hear on this podcast, reach out to us at Everything Life and Real Estate. So Dana and John, John, I'll probably see you, who knows when, maybe next week, and Dana, I'll for sure see you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Be sure to subscribe for more business strategies and tactics to inspire you to live an abundant real estate life. Don't forget to rate and review so we can bring you the best content. Find this and other valuable information at everythinglifeandrealestate.com.